Welcome back. Today's video is going to be both a video about me just ranting about some stuff that I've been cooking up in my brain for a while now, and a final for school because I forgot the student in student athlete was a thing. The topic that I've chosen for this video is from week 11's personal/social transformation, and more specifically from the article by Adrienne Marie Brown, Love as Political Resistance. Alrighty, so on to the points of this article that I'm really about. So this article talks about the different forms that we are trained and we are conditioned to express love, and how many times that is just guided by consumerism in our ever hyper capitalist society, you know, where we have certain days such as Mother's Day, Father's Day, what else? Valentine's Day, birthdays, like all of that type of thing, like those designated days where Thanksgiving's another one, Christmas is another one, where you just like buy object and say, I love you, here's my affection, here's an object, whatever, instead of actually showing love. I feel like those like specific days where we are expected to give objects as if we were penguins giving each other pebbles is just very consumption driven, where I feel like the love that is real in the sense of it fosters a relationship and fuels a relationship, it's like fertilizer and taking care of like a plant, right, is the more day-to-day mundane whatever, where just like in the book All About Love by Bell Hooks, where it's about being in the trenches with the people that you love. Love isn't an object. Love isn't a hole that you fall into. It is an action. It is a verb. You have to actively love someone. And to love someone looks different for everybody, but it's basically that desire for, once again, this is from Bell Hooks' book, All About Love, and I really like this definition. It's about developing with that person and having that investment of wanting to develop with that person. And that also circles back to love for thyself, right? Self-love. I feel like the self-love that we have is only self-love to the extent in which something can be sold to you. Just like everything in this society now, it's turned into a commodity. You can only love yourself to the extent of you buying the next self-help book, self-help program, consuming, watching podcasts, like all of this type of thing. It's like you only love yourself if you buy this product so you can exercise and blah, 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 because without it, you can't be the super version of yourself. And also, same thing with what I mentioned, like self-help books, like that type of always chasing the next, instead of what is actually self-love, which is developing with yourself, sitting with yourself and really like analyzing, like, what do I want, what do I need, what fuels my interactions with others, what traumas do I need to heal, what feedback am I getting from the world, like that type of like being one with yourself, where you need nothing from the outside world. The only type of relationship with oneself that I feel like is really pushed in like the mainstream culture, whatever, like in the zeitgeist, is that whole getting ahead, accumulating wealth, that type of thing, like being the best, which, like, what is the best? Like there's this standard, but everything else isn't, even though we are so different from each other, despite obviously we're all the same species, but we are so different from each other in the ways that we tick and the ways that we whatever, but we all want to fit ourselves into a certain mold because that's the mold that's like, that is what we want to be, despite nobody actually being that. And another point is the whole, we are trained to see love as a very specific thing. If I think back to how I was socialized, I'd watch movies, I'd watch TV shows, all of this type of thing, all the media that I'd consume. I feel like the main thing that like really stuck with me was the whole woman or girl or femme or whatever just exists and man find, happy ever after, gone, right? That is the only form of love that was acceptable and that was promoted. I feel like now obviously there's like more representations of that type of thing, but it's still very much like monogamous and very heterosexual in like the assumptions, like we're all kind of just like pushed to be that, and when people aren't that, they're seen as weird, as deviant, as etc., right? And I think it's so weird because even when we're talking about like that type of love, like they're just relationships, like everything is just a relationship. It's very like, this is what it should look like, this is what it should be. We are taught those scripts, those roles, and we try following them, and that's how you get people going to school, meeting, and like a week later, oh, they're my boyfriend, oh, they're my girlfriend, despite the fact that they don't know anything about each other. And then people wonder why their relationships fall apart. Well, I mean, it's because people base a lot of their relationships on that first like initial attraction, like the physical, like, oh, they're pretty, so I want them. And like, you'd never do that with a friend. You don't. At least I've never done that with a friend. I don't know if a lot of people have ever done that with a friend, but it's so normalized with that type of like relationship dynamic that people will just be like, oh, that person is attractive. Let me just like, I want them. You don't know anything about the person. Like I said, you would never do that with a friend. You'd never see someone be like, I want to be besties with them. Fundamentally, people don't know how to be in community with others because they don't know how to be in community with themselves, right? They have this idea, everybody wants to be this certain thing, whatever the trend is at that moment. That's the ideal. People want to hold that up. People want to pretend to be that to the world. And then in their interpersonal relationships, it also happens. People want to lie, whatever, they like play a role so they can be cast in a role and then wonder why the relationship falls apart down the road. It's because the foundation wasn't built on anything real. And the thing that really like stuck out to me was that whole thing about radical honesty. Because yeah, you have to come as you are. If I'm around a group of people and I just see that they don't really vibe with my energy, cool. Thank you, next. Moving on to the next group of people. Like, it's not that deep. If people don't vibe with you, it is not that deep. Just like I don't vibe with people, people don't vibe with me. It's a two-way street. If I come as I am and they don't vibe with it, that's fine. I'll just find other people, because why would I want that relationship with them if I'm gonna have to play a role? I've already done that for way too long. It is detrimental. There's no point in doing that unless you want to be miserable and have like an identity crisis at 20. Like, there's no point in just molding yourself to whatever so you feel accepted. You need to be able to be on that little lanchita, on that little boat, as you figure those things out. And we need to be able to be more open and honest with each other. And the thing is that it's gonna be hard. It is so gonna be hard. A lot of times people don't wanna be super honest with each other because they don't wanna hurt each other. And even though I understand why you wouldn't wanna hurt each other, sometimes that honesty, like, you guys need to talk to each other. You need to express. If something isn't working and you value that relationship, express what's going on. See if you guys can come to an understanding. Like, that's the type of thing that we should do. We are garbage at being interpersonal with each other because we're not modeled that by the people around us. We are not modeled that by the media that we consume. And now with social media, that we're all becoming way more isolated and way more individualistic. Like, we're already in a very individualistic culture, right? But now it's even worse because that alienation, it's by design. If you are not able to truly be in community with people and you're not able to actually like connect and see the humanity in each other, and all you see is like, nah, enemies, you don't know how to whatever. It is so much easier for us to be exploited, us to be miserable, and continue down that hole of the endless cycles of consumption, endless cycles of what's the next best thing, what's the next thing, because we're not chasing happiness, we're chasing that hit of dopamine. But because right now, the hegemonic culture is that of patriarchy, is that of the gender binary, is that of compulsive heterosexuality, of monogamy, of these things. That is why we are programmed to see everything in this way and to make these things fit that certain pattern. But it is not the default, bro. Like, there is no default. There isn't. We can write whatever reality we want for ourselves, but this is the one that has been written for us and has been reinforced so many generations that obviously it's going to be super hard to break out of. But the thing is, it's possible. We can do it. So I don't know, man. Those are just some of my thoughts on this, because I was really like, yo, like, yes, self-love and like love can be a revolutionary thing because it's about developing oneself, developing with other people, developing within community, and really finding that community. We are social creatures, so obviously this type of thing is crucial for us. But in the culture that we're in, we're very much alienated from ourselves, from each other, from our labor, from everything. We are very much just like on islands instead of in community, which is what we should be. But then again, like, that's by design because it's easier to exploit us if we are all fractured. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This is just my final video and a little therapy session before therapy tomorrow. Oh my God, I have therapy tomorrow. That means I have to wake up early. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's some other videos you guys can check out if you're feeling like it. See you if and when you choose to come back. Bye!